yeah, it's on
We're
now.
live. Awesome. Hello and welcome to YouTube. Um, uh, we're gonna be reading Midnight in Paris, and here is our cast. It is Curtis Lopez as Dali and John Blair, Travis Sanders, scene description and T.S. Eliot, amongst others, Anne Marca as Inez and Chloe, Michael Angel as Picasso and other people like Man Ray, Jess Ash, Zelda, the Warrior, Jack Fields, F. Scott Fitzgerald, take a bath, and Gabrielle, she's so important, Logan Horberg, Gertrude Stein, and Boone Well, amongst one other person, which I could have just told you is Degas, because there's only one person. George Graham, Hemingway, take a bath. Eric J. Waldman, what does the J stand for?
Joshua.
Sweet. As Paul and Juan Belmonte. And then Kenzie Paul as Ariana and the Guide, who she calls Paul the pedantic gentleman, which I like. Okay.
Shout out.
Take it away, Travis.
Midnight in Paris, written by Woody Allen. Montage, POV of shots of Paris set to music. We hear voices over Gil and Inez and a young couple of Americans engaged to be married, as we shall learn. Standard locations are listed here, but they will be determined later when location scout. Music, exterior, Monet's Garden Day.
This is unbelievable. Look at this. There's no city like this in the world. There never was.
It's become so touristy.
Well, that's just the awful era we live in. But can you just imagine what this was like before? But even with all the fast food joints and the traffic, God, you just can't imagine what it was like years ago.
Well, you like cities.
I really do. I love cities. I love big cities with all the crowds and all the action.
Having seen a panoramic view of, let us say, the Champs Elysees, we embark on a montage of the city. The comments offered above the following are an approximation of what the actors feel. Exterior to be decided day.
Look at these places, these streets, the boulevards.
You act like you've never been here before.
I don't get here often is the problem. Every once in a while for a few days is nothing. My biggest regret is that I didn't settle here the first time I came. I should have gone with my instincts.
I admit it's pretty, but so are so many other places I visited.
If I'd have stayed the first time came by now, I'd be a Parisian.
Starving.
Exterior to be decided day. Pause here for a third dialogue exchange.
I'm thinking of a painting by Pissarro. I've seen Paris in the rain. Can you picture how drop-dead gorgeous the city in the rain? Imagine this town in the 20s. Paris in the 20s in the rain. The artists and writers. I was born too late. Why did God deliver me into this world in the 1970s and in Pasadena yet?
Why does every city have to be in the rain? What's wonderful about getting wet?
It's romantic.
It's annoying.
Or Paris when it's just getting dark. The lights go on, or at night. It's great at night. Or no, sunset at Champs-Elysees. Could you ever think of us moving here after we're married?
Exterior to be decided day.
Oh God, no. I could never live out of the United States. And if I could, it would be someplace totally different.
Like?
I don't know. Hawaii?
Hawaii's in America.
Yes, but it's Hawaiian.
If I'd stayed here and written novels and gotten into grinding out movie scripts.
Right. And becoming rich and successful. Tell me the sad story.
But this is where all the artists came to live, to work, the writers, the painters.
That was 90 years ago.
Boy, I dropped the house in Beverly Hills, the pool, everything, in a heartbeat. Like, this is where Monet lived and painted. We're 30 minutes from town. Imagine the two of us settling here. My book turns out, we could do it. You could just as easily make jewelry here.
You're in love with You're in love with a fantasy.
Now we cut around and we see Gil and Inez live.
I'm in love with you.
Interior, exterior, hotel lobby day. Gil and Inez lobby of a hotel they're all at. In the lobby, they are awaited by her parents, John and Helen Blair.
There are sightseers.
If I never have to see another charming boulevard or bistro.
What a town!
To visit.
I could easily see myself a Parisian, strolling the left bank, a baguette under my arm, finishing my novel at a table at the Café Fleuret. A movable feast, Hemingway called it.
In this traffic, nothing moves.
Well, yes, it was different though.
Now we continue to just talk about moving east at the Grand before because I'm starved.
Americans eat dinner so early.
I'm proud.
Cut to interior Grand Verfort restaurant night.
A toast to John's new business venture here.
Well, I'll be perfectly frank. I'm excited over this corporate merger between our people and the French company, but otherwise, I'm not a big Frank.
John hates their politics.
They certainly didn't know friends in the United States.
Well, you can't say they were right in not backing Bush's moronic war in Iraq.
Please, let's not get into that discussion again.
There's nothing wrong with your father and I disagreeing. That's what democracy is. Your father defends the right wing of the Republican Party, and I happen to think they represent submental Neanderthals. But we respect each other's views, am I right?
Can we discuss the wedding plans? Your father's used to his good offices at the opera to get some of his singers to attend and sing. I thought Puccini would be nice.
Isn't that a great Gil?
Just no Wagner. When she walks down the aisle, not the Ride of the Valkyries. Hey, look, I just want to say that I'm politically bipartisan in that. In my view, to be a politician of any party, one must of any party, one must of necessity be a whore.
Gil.
Just then, another young couple passed the table and recognized Inez, Paul, and Carolyn Bates. Carolyn Bates.
Ads?
Paul? Carol? Oh my gosh, Paul, Carol Bates. Mom, Dad, you know Gil. You didn't mention you'd be here.
It was sudden. Paul got invited to lecture at the Sorbonne.
Oh, how terrific. Dad's here on business and we're freeloaded along.
Oh, it's great. We can spend some time together.
Don't we have a lot of commitments?
What?
What are you doing tomorrow? We're driving to Versailles.
Oh, I'm dying to see Versailles.
Don't we have something tomorrow? We were going to have lunch at the Brasserie Lip. My old professor once actually saw James Joyce there. He said Joyce was eating sauerkraut and frankfurters.
Is that the end of the story?
It is, actually.
We'd love to go with you guys. Versailles is beautiful. I have to see it, Gil. It's perfect for you with your obsession with Le Pompidou.
Yes, but
Such a lovely treat running into you here at the Main.
Interior hotel suite night.
I hope you're not going to be as antisocial tomorrow when we go to Versailles.
how was I antisocial?
It was so clear you didn't want to go.
Well, they're your friends, and I can't say I'm as taken with him as you are.
He's brilliant. I used to have such a crush on him in college, and Carol's very bright.
I find him a pseudo-intellectual.
I hardly think the Sorbonne would have him lecturing if he's a pseudo-intellectual. You should give him your novel to read. I'm sure he'd be able to critique your writing and show you why you're having so much trouble.
I'm having trouble because I'm a Hollywood hack who never gave actual literature a real shot.
Gil, promise me if this book doesn't come off, you'll give up beating your brains out and get back to what you do best. The studios adore you. You're in demand. I don't think you want to trade everything just to struggle.
Cut to exterior Versailles day. Next day, the two couples are there, and Paul waxes pedantically as they tour the grounds or inside.
I believe Lewis moved his court here in about 1682. Originally, this was all swampland. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, in Old French, the word Versailles means something like terrain where the weeds have been pulled. The main structure in French classical style at its height, the work, I believe, of Louis Level, I think Mansard and Charles Lebrun, I believe.
Cut to exterior Versailles, picturesque spot garden day.
I think I could get used to a summer home like this.
Me too. Except remember, in those days, they only had baths, and I'm definitely a shower man.
Where are you two planning to live after the wedding?
We're looking at Malibu. We love where you live.
I keep trying to talk her into a little attic with a skylight in Paris.
La Boheme.
All that's missing is tuberculosis.
He doesn't even know if he can write a novel. So far, your track records, whereas everyone likes your movies.
Yes, movie scripts are easier.
Tell him about the lead character in the book you're working on.
I don't like to discuss my work.
Not the plot, just the lead character. He works in a nostalgia shop.
What's a nostalgia shop?
Not one of those stores that sells Shirley Temple dolls and old radios. I never know who buys that stuff. Who want it?
People who live in the past. Who think their lives would have been happier if they lived in an earlier time.
Just what era would have preferred to live in? Men of Archivi?
Paris in the 20s. In the rain, when the rain wasn't acid rain.
I see. And no global warming, no TV or suicide bombing, nuclear weapons, drug cartels?
The usual menu of cliched horror stories.
Nostalgia is denial of the painful present.
Ugh, he's a romantic. Gil would be just as fine living in a perpetual state of denial.
The name for this fallacy is called Golden Age thinking.
Touché.
The erroneous notion that a different time period was better than the one one's living in. It's a flaw in the romantic imagination of those who find coping with the present too difficult.
Cut to exterior chop art / place Vendome deck.
It's definitely the nicest ring we've seen.
I love the diamond wedding band. The way it sparkled, they'll see it in the last row when he puts it on my finger.
This is going to be such an event, Inez. I only wish...
I don't want to keep going over it, Mom.
Look, he's your choice. What can I say?
Gil's smart and successful.
And yet he talks of giving it up and moving here. That frightens me.
The world is full of people who dream of writing the great American novel. Let me handle him.
Your father thinks you're comfortable with Gil because you can control him.
He likes to please me. Is that so terrible? Oh gosh, I have to go. Paul arranged a private tour of the Rodin Museum.
Exterior Rodin Museum Garden Day. Paul, Carol, Gil, and Inez getting guided tour. Guide speaks French and mostly English as she feels.
This is, of course, Rodin's famous statue. A cast of this work was placed next to his tomb. Rodin wished for it to serve as his headstone and epitaph.
Oh, that would be in Meudon. He died of the flu, if I'm not mistaken, 1917, I believe.
Exactly correct. You know your art history, monsieur. The design.
Oh, the thinker is so powerful because he thinks not just with his brain, he thinks with every limb and muscle. You feel the concentration.
He's so knowledgeable, isn't he?
And so much of Rodin's work was influenced by his wife, Camille.
Yes, she was an influence, though Camille was not the wife of his mistress, but his mistress.
Camille? No.
Yes, Rose was the wife.
Never married Rose.
Yes, in the last year of their lives.
I think you're mistaken.
Are you arguing with the guide?
I am.
Oh, non, je suis certain.
Yeah, I'm afraid she's right. I just read the recent 2-volume biography of Rodin. Rose was definitely the wife, Camille the mistress.
Read that? Where did you read that?
I did, no question. Camille, Rose.
Oh, don't forget, Dad invited you to join us tonight at the wine tasting.
It'll be so fun. Paul's an expert on French wines.
When did you read the biography of Rodin?
Me? Why would I read a biography on Rodin?
Exterior wine tasting evening. Inez already a little high. Her parents having fun. Gil is also feeling it by now.
I can't tell the difference. They're both delicious.
Take it easy, man. It's those little sips add up.
You should talk, John, especially for someone who once advocated the boycott of French wines.
I've always taken California wine, but the Napa Valley is 6,000 miles away.
They laugh and drink.
Which do you prefer?
To me, they're all great. What the hell do I know?
I don't think I've ever seen your cheeks so red.
Pheromones. It's your pheromones.
Paul and Carol have ambled over, having heard Gil's last amorous remark.
Ah, yes. Sex and alcohol. It fuels the desire but kills the performance, according to the bard.
Have you tasted the 61? It's divine, though Paul found it. What?
Slightly more tannic than the 59. I prefer a smoky feeling to a fruity feeling. Don't you agree?
You will admit she's a sexy woman.
This I have known for many years. You're a very lucky man. May you make the transition from movies to literature, and may your book glorify all the Shirley Temple dolls and Charlie Chaplin wristwatches that make us nostalgic for an allegedly once simpler, more charming world.
To the little green Heinz pickle pin.
Cut to exterior wine tasting / street night.
Carol and I are going dancing. We heard of a great place. Interested?
Sure.
I don't want to be a party pooper, but I just want fresh air.
Oh, come on. Although if you're going to just go sit there and obsess over where the fire exits are.
If Gil doesn't want to go, I'll share Paul with you. I'm very democratic, and he's a marvelous dancer.
It's okay with you. I'd really just like a little walk and go to bed. We can do it another night.
Well, I can go, right?
You go.
I'm not tired and I'm dying to dance. I'll just meet you back at the hotel.
I'll take good care of her.
I guess so.
Cut to interior taxi night. The three are having a fine time.
Isn't it great we're all on holiday at the same time?
Back home, we just joined a marvelous tennis club, and Paul says you play. Does Gil?
I can't introduce him to tennis. Daddy's having the damnedest time pressuring him to learn golf.
Is he a good writer? Have you read his pros?
He won't let anybody.
If he wants, I'd be glad to go over his novel and critique it for him.
That's what he needs. To have it read by somebody who really knows and wouldn't pull any punches. The problem is, when it comes to his writing, he has no respect for anyone's opinion.
Exterior street night. Gil walks street, obviously lost. Exterior lovely spot night. Gil wonders. Eventually, he is at a lovely spot, perhaps by the river, the bridge, or somewhere else, but he's just wandering, lost. Finally, he looks at his watch, either by his watch or a nearby building clock. The hands move to exactly midnight. Ooh, perhaps midnight chimes somewhere. At precisely that moment, a car happens to pull up alongside him. Inside are 2 men and 2 women, elegant. They have champagne in glasses, and they pour from the open bottle and drink happily. Come on, get in.
Huh?
Let's go, we're late.
You have the wrong person.
Mais non pas du aller monter.
Look, I'm a little drunk.
Come on, for God's sake, we can't sit here all night.
This is a great old Pagot. I have a friend in Beverly Hills who has the same one. He collects.
Let's go, we have so many parties to go to.
What parties?
Venez l'écran des souches.
Here, you need some champagne.
Gil gets in, they shoot and pull off. Cut to interior exterior car night.
Where are we going?
It's 36 Rue there, and let's hurry.
It's not fair. My head is swimming from the wine.
Prenons du champagne de ton de vous un peu.
Champagne. I do like champagne.
The night is young. Drink up, drink up, drink up.
I'm drinking up.
He drinks befuddled. Cut to exterior left bank street night. Car pulling up at some great old street. They all get out and take him inside to a party in progress. Cut to interior party night. There's a mixture of elegant plus bohemian types in the background. A man sits on the piano singing a Cole Porter tune. Gil looks at the revelers. A few cuts, music plays. Finally, a woman comes over to Gil.
You look lost.
You're American.
If you count Alabama as America, which I do, I miss the bathtub gin. What do you do?
Oh, I'm a writer.
What do you write?
Right now I'm working on a novel.
Oh, yes? I'm Zelda, by the way. Oh, Scott! Scott, come over here. Here's a writer from where?
California.
Scott Fitzgerald. And who are you, old sport?
I'm Gil. You two have the same names as
what?
Scott Fitzgerald and
Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald, the Fitzgeralds. Isn't she beautiful?
Yes, it's a coincidence. I mean, it is a funny coincidence.
You have a glazed look in your eye. Stunned, stupefied, anesthetized, lobotomized.
Yeah, I keep thinking that man at the piano. Believe it or not, I recognize his face from some old sheet music. What am I talking about here?
I know if I could put my mind to it, I could be one of the great writers of musical lyrics. Not that I can write melodies, and I try. And then I hear the songs he writes, and I realize I'll never write a great lyric, and that my talent really lies in drinking.
Yes, but you didn't write that song. You mean that's not possible?
What kind of books do you write?
I mean, I'm working on it. Exactly where am I?
I'm sorry, don't you know the host? Some friends have gotten together a little party for Jean Cocteau.
Haley, are you kidding me?
I know what you're thinking. This is boring, and I agree. I'm ready to move on. Let's do brick tops. Scott, I'm bored. He's bored. We're all bored.
Whatever you say, sweetheart. See if Cole and Linda want to come with. Coming?
Gil stares open mouthed. Cut to interior exterior car night. Short of a group, Gil, Cole, Porter, Fitzgerald's piled into period open top car, tearing up down a Parisian street. No, we can include Dennis and Doug or Phil if we want. That's cool. Cut to interior brick shops club night. The group is watching someone like Josephine Baker. Gil is stunned by it all. The Fitzgeralds drink a lot. Cut to exterior calf 3 night. Group entering calf. Interior calf 3 night. A little late night calf. Very bohemian. Scott, Zelda, and Gil enter the group having thinned out. The Fitzgeralds drink a lot.
Bouteille de Bourbon.
Greetings and salutations. You'll forgive me. I've been mixing grain and grappa. This is Gil. Gil? Yes, Gil.
Gil Pender.
Hemingway.
Hemingway? Hey, is this some kind of joke?
You liked my book?
Liked. I loved everything you read.
Yes, it was a good book because it was an honest book, and that's what war does to men. And there's nothing fine and noble about dying in the mud unless you die gracefully. And then it's not only noble but brave.
Ernest Hemingway. This is
Say hello to Pender. The bulls in the ring don't frighten Belmonte. He's killed many brave ones. Fine, brave bulls.
I'm sure good bulls, true bulls.
Why are you smiling?
In New York, you can't buy this. It can only be made in a bathtub. And some of the bathtub mixtures are damn good. Isn't that so? She prefers her hooch from a homemade still. More kick.
Did you read my story? What'd you think?
It began well, really well. Then it became weak.
I might have known you'd hate it.
Darling, you're too sensitive.
You liked the story, but he hates me.
There was some fine writing, but it was not fulfilled.
Please, old sport, you make matters extremely difficult.
I'm jumpy. Suddenly I don't like the atmosphere here anymore. Where are you going?
Para irnos con amigos en el Saint Germain.
He's going to Saint Germain. I'm going with him.
Zelda.
If you're going to stay and drink with him, I'm going with the Toreador.
Get her back at a reasonable time.
They
There you go.
drive you crazy, this woman.
She's exciting, and she has talent.
This month it's writing, last month it was something else. You're a writer. You need time to write, not all this playing around. She's wasting you because she's really a competitor. Don't you agree?
Me? I mean, I just met the Fitzgeralds.
Speak up, for Christ's sake. I'm asking you if you think my friend is making a tragic mistake.
I mean, actually, I don't know the Fitzgeralds that well. But...
You're a writer. You make observations. You were with them all night.
Can we not discuss my personal life in public?
She has them on yachts, at parties, jumping into swimming pools. You're wasting your talent.
You don't understand her.
She's jealous of his gift, and it's a damn fine gift. It's rare. You like his work, you can speak freely.
Stop it.
You like Mark Twain?
I do, very much.
I'm going to find Zelda. I don't like the thought of her with the Spaniard.
He's a fine writer, Fitzgerald. You box?
No.
What are you writing?
A novel.
About what?
A man who works in a nostalgia shop.
What the hell's a nostalgia shop?
Where they sell old things, memorabilia. Does that sound terrible to you?
No subject is terrible if the story is true. If the prose is clean and honest, and if it affirms courage and grace under pressure.
Would you do me like the biggest favor in the world? I can't even ask.
What?
Would you read it?
Your novel?
I mean, it's only about 400 pages. If you could just give me your opinion.
My opinion is I hate it.
You do?
If it's bad, I'll hate it because I hate bad writing, and if it's good, I'll be envious and hate it all the more. You don't want the opinion of another writer.
But there's no one I really trust to evaluate it.
Writers are competitive.
I could never compete with you.
You're too self-effacing. It's not manly. If you're a writer, declare yourself the best writer. But you're not the best as long as I'm around, unless you want to put the gloves on and settle it.
No, that's okay.
I won't read your novel, but I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yes?
I'll bring it over to Gertrude Stein. She's the only one I trust to read my work. No one discovers new talent like Gert, whether it's poetry, painting, music. She'll tell you if you have a book or not.
Wow, you could have Gertrude Stein read my novel?
Give it to me.
Oh yeah, I have to get it. It's at the hotel.
She gets back from Spain tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. My heart is beating. I'll go home and get it, and I'll give it to you. Wow, I can't tell you what this means to me to have Gertrude Stein read my novel. Thank you.
He exits the place. Exterior calf 3 night.
Calm yourself. Get a grip, Gil. Deep breaths. Been quite a night. Fitzgerald. Hemingway. The Hemingway. Papa, where do I meet? Where do I meet him? He never said.
Gil goes to return to the calf. He can't find the door, nor the club facade. It's gone. We are in the present, and he searches the wall of a facade where he came out, but he is in despair over the fact he can't find it. Interior hotel suite day. Next morning, Gil and Nez probably dressing.
Lucky you didn't go last night. You would have hated the music and the crowd, but I had fun.
Uh-huh.
What are you thinking? You seem in a daze.
If I told you I was with Ernest Hemingway and Scott Fitzgerald last night, what would you say?
Is that what you were dreaming about? Your literary idols?
But if it wasn't a dream.
What does that mean?
If I told you I spent time with Hemingway and Fitzgerald and Cole Porter.
I'd be thinking brain tumor.
Can I tell you, Zelda Fitzgerald is exactly as we come to know her from articles and books. She's mercurial and moody, and she does not get along with Hemingway, and Scott knows Hemingway's right about it, but you can see how conflicted he is because he loves her.
Right. Where's my cold cream? We should knock off the idle chatter because we're going to be late.
Actually, I wanted to stay and work on my novel. It needs a little polish.
You can work on it later, and we can use Mom's decorator's discount.
Interior antique store day. Helen, Inez, and Gil in an antique store.
Come look at this, Inez. Wouldn't this be charming for Malibu Beach House?
Dick's Hooded Middle.
It's a steal at $18,000.
$18,000?
Oh wait, that's euros, so it's more.
That's over $20,000, Mom.
Yes, but it's very hard to find anything like this at home.
She's right, Gil.
Yes, but we haven't even found a house yet, and I'm trying to keep expenses down so I can turn down jobs.
You get what you pay for. Cheap is cheap.
I know you love Malibu, but I mean,
Did you ever make love in a chase like this? Imagine the possibilities.
I mean, of course, when you think of it that way, it does help amortize the 18 grand.
And don't forget, we're taking you to dinner tonight at somewhere.
Great.
And after, I have a terrific surprise for you.
What? I'm not big on surprises.
No, you will be, believe me.
Look at these marvelous blackamoors. I see them in your living room.
Cut to exterior lovely spot night. Gil and Inez arriving at the spot. He was picked up by a car. He waits nervously.
Where are you taking me? You made me rush through dinner. Dad wasn't finished with his profiteroles.
You're going on one of the most amazing adventures of your life.
Where? And why are you carrying around your manuscript?
You'll see, and your jaw will drop.
Dissolve to exterior lovely spot night. They're still waiting with nothing happening. Cars pass, but no action.
I don't know what it is you're carrying on about, but this is not my idea of an amazing adventure. I'm exhausted from the gym and the massage.
Inez.
Look, you want to walk by the streets and drink Paris by night? Go ahead. I'm in the middle of a great book, Carol. And if I'm asleep when you get in, don't wake me.
What am I doing wrong? Unless she's right and I need to see a neurologist. I left the wine tasting. It was a little high, yes. Right here.
The clock begins to chime.
I remember the river. The clock struck midnight. The clock, struck midnight. Yes, on the dot of midnight.
He looks at his watch, which obviously confirms the chimes hears. The period car comes. The door opens. We hear Hemingway's voice.
Get in.
Gil gets in, car pulls off. Cut to interior, exterior car night. Only Gil and Hemingway.
The assignment was to take the hill. There were 4 of us. 5 if you count Vincente, but he had lost his hand when a grenade went off and he couldn't fight as he could when I first met him. And he was young and brave and the hill was soggy from days of rain and sloped down toward a road. And there were many German soldiers on the road. And the idea was to aim at the first group. And if our aim was true, we could delay them.
Weren't you scared?
Of what?
Getting killed.
I'll never write well if you fear dying, do you?
Oh, it's my biggest fear.
But it's something all men before you have done and all men will do.
Yeah, but...
Have you ever made love to a truly great woman?
Well, my fiance is pretty sexy. So...
And when you make love to her, you feel true and beautiful passion, and you at least for that moment lose your fear of death.
I don't know about that.
I believe that love that's true and real creates a respite from death. All cowardice comes from not loving or not loving well, which is the same thing. And when the man who is brave and true looks death squarely in the face like some rhino hunters I know, or Belmonte who is truly brave, it is because they love with sufficient passion to push death out of their minds, till it returns as it does to all men, and then you must make really good love again. Think about it.
Cut to exterior Gertrude Stein's place night. Shot of them arriving at Gertrude Stein's. Interior Gertrude Stein's place night. They enter.
This is Gil Pender. He's a young American writer. I thought you two should know each other.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. You can help decide which of us is right and which of us is wrong.
She leads them into other rooms, introducing Gil.
This is Gil.
Pender.
Pedro Pascal. Pablo Picasso.
They ad-lib greetings. Picasso speaks French and is with a beautiful girl, Adriana.
Now, I was just telling Pablo this portrait doesn't capture Adriana. It has universality, but no objectivity.
Vous ne le comprenez pas correctement. Vous ne connaissez pas Adriana, mais tu sais qui la représente.
No, tu le parles. Look how he's done her, dripping with sexual innuendo, carnal to the point of smoldering, and yeah, she's beautiful, but it's a subtle beauty, an implied sensuality. What's your first impression of Adriana?
Exceptionally lovely.
Belle, mais plus subtil, plus explicite, Pablo.
You're right, Gertrude. Of course, you can see why he's lost his objectivity.
Well, you've made a place, Pigela, a whore with volcanic appetites.
Musical mele si villa connaisse.
Yes, avec my prive. Because she's your lover, but we don't know her that way. So you make a petit bourgeois judgment and turn her into an object of pleasure. C'est plus comme de nature morte comportera. It's more like a still life than a portrait.
Je ne suis pas d'accord.
What about this book of yours I've been hearing about? Have you read it?
No, this I leave to you. You've always been the best judge of my work.
Okay. The past was the name of the story, and its products consist of memories, prosaic and even vulgar, between one generation and transmitted by the mere passing of years to a status at once magical and also camp.
I love it. I'm hooked. I'm already hooked.
Started tonight. But first, we have something to talk about.
She collars Hemingway and they huddle to one side. Picasso has busied himself at a distant spot with a drink. Sulkingly, this leaves Gil off with Adriana to chat.
Did my opening lines really get you that strongly?
The past has always had a great charisma for me.
Me too. I was born too late.
Oui, exactamente. For me, Belle Époque Paris would have been perfect. The whole sensibility, the street lamps, the kiosks, the horse and carriages and maxims then.
You speak very good English.
No, not really.
I mean, yes. I mean, how long have you been dating Picasso? My God, did I just say that?
Pardon?
Oh, no, I didn't mean anything. To pry. Born in Paris?
I was born in Bordeaux. I moved here to study fashion and don't want to hear this.
No, I do.
I came here to study with Coco Chanel, and I fell in love with Perry and also a very dark-eyed, haunted Jewish Italian painter. And I know Amadeo had another woman, but still I couldn't resist moving into his apartment when he asked me, and it was a beautiful 6 months.
No, Modigliani. Is it Modigliani? You live with Modigliani?
You asked me, so I'm telling you my sad story. With Brock, also there was another woman, Benny, and now with Pablo. I mean, Pablo is married, but every day it's on again, off again. I don't know how any woman can stay with him. He's so difficult.
My God, you are a whole different level of art groupie.
Pardon?
Nothing. I'm just.
But tell me about yourself. Have you come to Paris to write because these days so many Americans feel the need to move here? Isn't that Hemingway attractive? I love his writing.
Actually, I'm visiting.
Oh, you must stay here. It's a wonderful city for artists and writers.
Believe me, I want to, but it's not that simple.
And I did fall madly in love with the start of your book, so I want to hear the rest of it.
Hemingway and Stein return.
Let's all go for a drink up at Montmartre.
Yeah, we'll discuss your book as soon as I finish it. Where can I reach you?
Oh, that's okay. I'll drop by. It'll be easier for you if that's okay.
We run an open house.
You sure you won't come?
I only wish I could, but I can't. But hopefully I'll see you again.
That would be nice.
Hemingway, Picasso, and Adriana are going off. Hemingway flirtatious with her. Ooh.
One of these days, I plan to steal you away from this genius who's great, but no Moreau.
Cut to exterior hotel night. Gil returning. Cut to interior hotel suite night. Gil gets into bed with Inez. She's asleep and he lies awake thinking. He pinches himself to make sure he's awake.
I'm Gil Pender. I was with Hemingway and Picasso. Pablo Picasso. Ernest Hemingway. I'm Gil Pender from Pasadena. The Cub Scouts. I failed freshman English. I'm Gil Pender in my novels with Gertrude Stein. I once worked at the House of Pies. I'm little Gil Pender. That girl was so lovely.
Cut to exterior flea market day. Gil, Inez, and Helen.
It's a shame you two didn't come to the movies last night. We saw a wonderfully funny American film. Forget the name.
Wonderful but forgetful. I've seen that picture.
I know it was moronic and infantile and lacking any wit or believability, but John and I laughed in spite of ourselves.
What time did you get in? I was dead asleep.
Not late. I find these midnight strolls very good for me creatively. Without the distractions of the day, I'll probably take another long walk tonight.
We'll see. How about this?
Oh, look at these wonderful glass figurines.
As they are preoccupied, Gil is caught up by a woman who plays 78 records on an old phonograph, and she is playing the Cole Porter tune Cole was playing the other night.
Jesholi, no?
Yes, very beautiful.
Cole Porter. Vos amis, you like Cole Porter?
I love his music. We're very close, Cole, Linda, and I.
She gives him a look.
Very pretty. Et très amusant.
He listens, and Inez comes over.
Gil!
Huh?
Gil!
Huh? Yeah.
Go, we're meeting Paul and Carol for the private showing at the museum.
Oh, with the same sharp guy?
It's a different museum, and we don't need a guide. Paul's an expert on Monet. We can all see those beautiful water lilies at his home.
Cut to interior L'Orange, the museum day. Paul, Carol, Inez, and Gil. Circular room with huge Monets.
Oh, the juxtaposition of color is amazing. This man was the real father of abstract expressionism. I take that back. Maybe Turner.
I prefer Monet. I mean, I love Turner, but this is overwhelming.
If I'm not mistaken, it took him 2 years to complete this, and he worked out of Giverny, where he frequently.
Yeah, they say Monet used to use.
Shh! I want to hear what Paul's saying.
He was frequently visited by Carabote, an artist I personally feel was underrated.
I find Monet almost too pretty. Like Renoir, sometimes it's cloying.
Dissolve to interior, another floor of the museum day.
Ah, now here's a superb Picasso.
Continue, girl is stunned.
If I'm not mistaken, he painted this marvelous portrait of this French mistress, Madeleine Brissot, in the 20s.
I actually, I have to differ with you on this one.
Really?
Gil, pay attention. You'll learn something.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was a failed attempt to capture a young French girl named Adriana from Bordeaux. If my art history serves me, came to Paris to study costume design for the theater. Believe she had a brief affair with Modigliani, then Prague. That's where Pablo met her, Picasso. You never know it from this portrait, but she's quite subtly beautiful.
What have you been smoking?
And I hardly call the picture superb. It's more of a petite bourgeois statement of Pablo Picasso. Caesar saw her. He's distracted by the fact that she was just a volcano in the sack.
Cut to interior restaurant night. John, Helen, and Inez finishing fancy dinner.
Too rich for me.
Where did Gil run off to?
Work. He likes to walk around Paris. The way the city is all lit up at night allegedly inspires him. It's okay. Paul and I are going dancing.
Where's Carol?
In bed with a bad oyster. See you later. Thanks for dinner, Dad.
She exits.
He'll go every night.
You heard her. He walks and gets ideas.
Uh-huh.
You sound skeptical.
I don't know. I see what he earns, but sometimes I think he's got a part missing. I didn't like his remark about the Tea Party Republicans. They're decent people who want to take back the country. They're not crypto-fascist airhead zombies. Did you hear him say that?
Nevertheless, I hardly think your idea of having him followed is practical.
No. I like to know who he goes every night.
Well, we know one thing. He doesn't go dancing.
Cut to interior Fitzgerald's party night. Gil dancing with a woman at Fitzgerald's party. He stops finally, and Adriana wanders him over. Wanders
Hello
over.
again. Oh. Hello again. How nice you're here.
Oh, I was at Gertrude Stein. She's almost finished my novel. And the Fitzgeralds invited me over and you said you'd be here. You and Pablo.
Pablo's home. We had a bit of a quarrel. But you looked like you were having fun dancing with Joanna Barnes.
That was Juna Barnes? No wonder she wanted to leave.
Isn't this a wonderful place to throw a party? Only the Fitzgeralds would think of it. Look, this is from turn of the century. Everything's so beautiful then.
Hemingway coming over now. He squeezes Adriana playfully flirtatious.
Isn't this little Parisian dream a movable feast? Mark my words, I'm going to steal you from that fugitive from Malaga one way or the other. Between Belmonte and myself, which of us would you choose?
Vous êtes de trois personnalités. I don't speak French.
But he has more courage. He faces death more directly and more often, and if you chose him, I would be disappointed, but understand.
Por desgracia para ambos, ella ha elegido Pablo.
Yes, she's chosen Picasso, but Pablo thinks women are only to paint or sleep with.
And you?
I think women are the equal of men in courage. Have you ever shot a charging lion?
Never.
Have you ever hunted? Have you?
Only for bargains.
Venga, damos otra copa.
Oh, would you like to maybe take a walk?
Cut to exterior plays Duflin night. Gil and Adriana walk.
I hope it was nothing serious with you and Pablo.
He's moody and possessive. Artists are like children.
I understand why they all want to paint you. You're so damn interesting to look at in a lovely way.
And you're interesting in a lost way. Tell me more about your book.
I don't want to talk about my book. I want to enjoy Paris by night.
I keep forgetting you're only a tourist.
That's putting it mildly.
Cut to exterior montage / Paris night. Adriana showing him around. Ooh.
I can never decide whether Paris is more beautiful by day or by night.
There's no book or painting or symphony or sculpture that can rival a great city. All these streets and boulevards are special art forms. When you think in the cold, violent, meaningless universe Paris exists, these lights, I mean, nothing's happening on Jupiter or Neptune or out beyond, but from way out in space, you could see these lights in the whole dark void. The cafes, people drinking and dancing. I mean, for all we know, this town is the hottest spot in the entire universe.
Mauvaise la mer peut-être.
You're very kind. I would not call my babbling poetic.
Cut to exterior Palace Pigalle night. Jill and Adriana are here with the street lined with prostitutes.
See anything you like?
I'm ashamed to admit I'm attracted to all of them. I like cheap, sexy. I know it's shallow.
When I was in Catholic school, one weekend my roommate and I paid one of the girls of Pigalle to come teach us her tricks.
Well, that's the most interesting thing I've heard in my life. I'd like to think about that for a while.
Cut to exterior river night. Jill and Adriana walking by the river.
I love that the book main character in your book sells memories.
Because he believes in his soul that progress is not automatically for the better.
Often quite the opposite.
Say, is that who I think it is?
What is she doing here, and why is she staring into the river?
They see a distraught woman contemplating jumping into the river. Upon running to her, it's Zelda.
Oh gosh, my God, what are you doing?
Please leave me alone. I don't want to live.
What is it? What's going on?
It all became clear to me tonight. Scott and that beautiful countess. It was so obvious they were whispering about me, and the more they drank, the more he fell in love with her.
Scott only loves you. I can tell you that with absolute certainty.
No, he's tired of me.
No, you're wrong. I know.
How? How?
Trust me, I know.
But you just met us. How can you know anything? My skin hurts. I hate the way I look.
Take this.
What is this?
Yeah, it's a Valium. It'll calm you down.
You carry medicine?
Only since Inez and I became engaged. I've had these anxiety attacks, and I'm sure after the wedding they'll subside.
I've never heard of Valium. What is this?
It's the pill of the future.
But pills wear off, and then it all comes back. No, I won't kill myself. I'll write, and I'll write more passionately than Scott. I'll work harder.
He loves you. He's not with that woman. She's already on her way back to Rome.
I'll try and score more for you, and I have some Xanax at the hotel. It's another one you'll like.
Come on, we'll find a taxi. We'll see you home. Things will be better in the morning.
Cut to interior Bohemian Calf night.
You never said you were getting married.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's in the future.
Well, good luck with your book and your wedding.
You'd like Inez. She has a sharp sense of humor, and she's sexy, and not that we agree on everything.
But the important things.
Actually, the small things. The important things we don't. She'd like to live in Malibu, and then I'd work in Hollywood, but I will say we both like Indian food. Not all Indian food. Pita bread. We both like pita bread.
I should go. Pablo will be missing me.
I'll walk you home.
No, finish your drink. I live just around the corner.
No, I wouldn't think...
I'd prefer to be by myself for a while. Thank you for this evening.
And she goes. He's dressed, thinks. Presently, Salvador Dali comes to table.
Met earlier tonight at the party.
Yes, I remember.
Dali, see? Dali. Un botelle de vino.
Waiter scurries for one.
You like the shape of the rhinoceros?
The rhinoceroses? I never thought about it.
I paint rhinoceros. I paint you sad eyes, big lips, melting over hot sand. One tail, yes, and your tail, Crisis face, and rhinoceros.
I'm sure I look sad. I'm in a very perplexing situation.
Everyone is in a perplexing situation. To be or not to be. This is ultimate perplexing question. You agree? Ah, there we are.
Continued. Buñuel, Man Ray, and the Dirty Bubble enter the table, enlarges as they sit. Dali introduces them to Gil.
My God, I own Surrealist print, only a print by Magritte.
Bandar, and I am Dali. Bandar is in a perplexing situation.
It sounds so crazy when I say it, and you'll think I'm drunk, but I've got to tell someone I'm from a different time. A whole other era, the future. I passed from the 2000th millennium to here. A car picks me up, and I slide through time.
Exactly correct. You inhabit two worlds. So far, I see nothing strange.
Well, yeah, look, you're a surrealist, but I'm a normal guy. See, in one life, I'm engaged to marry a woman I love. At least I think I love her. And Christ, I'm supposed to love her if I'm marrying her.
Love. The word love. Love, the word love. Same as the word rhinoceros. The rhinoceros makes love by mounting the female, but is there a difference in beauty between two rhinoceroses?
But there is nothing more surreal than the human heart.
Past is also present.
In a dream, which is fine for you because you guys dabble in dreams.
There is another woman?
Adriana is her name, and I felt drawn to her, but it wouldn't matter. Men much greater than me, profound artists. She's drawn to geniuses, and they to her.
I see you with Christ. He is smiling while you are crucified on the heavy wooden cross of self-doubt.
Of course, my biggest problem is reality.
Reality is nothing more than a dream. We all exist in the dream of a dog.
I was born in the wrong time.
Time is on the mind. Time melts. The watches melt. The hands of the clock melt.
Man in love with a woman from a different era. I see a photograph.
I see a movie.
I see an insurmountable problem.
I see a rhinoceros.
Interior hotel suite day. Next morning, room service breakfast.
Did you get much work done last night?
Yes. I'm beginning to think my book may be too realistic, that I've missed some chances to let my imagination run wild and not be so damn logical.
Shouldn't we be getting dressed?
Come here, you always look great in the morning.
We'll be late.
I have to work. I'm working like a demon, but I can't resist you half dressed like this.
Paul says we have to go see the countryside. He's taking us for lunch at this beautiful little inn. I know you like making love in the morning, but I find it much sexier late in the afternoon, just before we go out to dinner. Except I always have to explain to my parents why your cheeks look radiant. Hey, I'm not going to force you. I know you're hot on your writing. I'll be happy when you finish this book and move on.
Cut to exterior Rodin Museum Garden day. Gil is near the kiss. He has tracked down the guide.
Hello, Bonjour. I'd like to ask you a question about Rodin.
Yes.
He loved his wife. He also loved his mistress. Is it really possible to be in love with two women?
He loved both in different ways.
God, it's so French. You remember me?
I do. You were with the group, the pedantic gentleman.
Yeah, pedantic. Yeah, perfect word. You're very observant. I need some advice. I'd like a woman's take, a French woman, an observant French woman. I met some woman that I very quickly became smitten with. Smitten?
Mm-hmm.
I'm engaged to be married. I know Rodin had a wife and a mistress, but I'm American. We can't handle that. We're monogamous.
You're engaged and you met a new woman?
Yes, her name's Adriana. Right now she's living with a Spaniard. He paints fairly well.
Yes, and does she love him or you?
Love him or me? Well, I hardly think me, but we've just met. See, another very gifted man flirts with her, a writer. All these geniuses fall in love with her. And what am I? And then, of course, there's another big problem I can't exactly explain.
Yes?
I don't know whether to call it an age difference or a problem of geography. I'm so messed up. I'm not Hemingway. I'm not Picasso. I'm not Rodin. Just a guy who was born too late.
Cut to exterior street / interior building day. John walks down a street and enters a building. As he goes up the stairs, we learn that it is in an office of a private detective agency. Interior agency office day. John and Mr. Dubois and the head detective, Mr. Tristeran. The second is presented to.
Here's his photo. I want to know where he goes each night.
What is your suspicion?
He's engaged to my daughter to marry, and I want to marry, and I want to be certain she's making a wise decision. Naturally, discretion is paramount.
You've come to the right place, Monsieur. Monsieur Treston will personally keep track of the gentleman and report back on his whereabouts at night. Cut to exterior lovely spot / interior car night. Gil getting in the car as usual at the same spot at midnight. Another man is there. Treston is observing from his car.
Tom's T.S. Eliot. Sorry.
Oh, come.
Thanks for stopping, Gil Pender.
Tom Eliot.
Tom Eliot? Tom Stern? T.S. Eliot? T.S. Eliot?
Shot of Gil entering car.
I'm stunned. My mantra.
As the car pulls off, we hear Gil speaking.
May I tell you where I came from? They measure out their lives in Coke spoons.
Cut to interior Gertrude Stein's place, night. Picasso present, door.
Ah, Pender. I'll get your book in a moment. I just finished it. We're in the middle of a little personal crisis.
I didn't mean to intrude.
Oh, no, it's no secret. Adriana has left Pablo and has flown to Africa with Ernest Hemingway.
What?
Sabía que tenía una obsesión con este fanfarrón sobre esos documentos.
Estoy seguro que regresa muy devoto. He took her hunting Kudo, but she'll be back to him. The sound of hyenas every night when you're trying to sleep in the tent gets on your nerves pretty quickly. Mount Kilimanjaro is not Paris.
They're on Mount Kilimanjaro?
Well, how about your book? It's very unusual indeed. In a way, it's almost science fiction. Fiction with all the futuristic devices, television sets, supersonic flights, and yet it's not typical science fiction. It's unique. Nevertheless, you got to get rid of all the technology. What's good about your book are the characters. The human questions, love, mortality. Nobody cares about the technology. They care about the human heart. We all fear death and question our place in the universe. Unfortunately, your book lapses into easy pessimism. I was having this conversation with Giacometto the other day. He's such a gloom monger.
Still, those sculptures.
Well, it's the artist's job not to succumb to despair, but to find an antidote to the emptiness of existence. I find your voice clear and lively. Don't be such a defeatist.
Exterior, front of hotel day. Inez, her mother and father loading into car.
Tell Gil to bring a suit because tomorrow night we'll be dining formal. Where's Gil?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Gil's not going with us to Mont Saint-Michel.
Why not? I don't understand it.
He writes, he rewrites, he rewrites his rewrites. He says Picasso never left his studio. I said, Gil, you have absolutely nothing in common with Picasso. And he just...
Well, he's going to miss a great weekend.
Cut to exterior flea market day. Gil browsing. He listens to the old phonograph recording.
Any Cole Porter?
Oh, yes, I'll remember. He was your friend.
I was kidding, you realize.
I did realize. You're a bit young.
I'm surprised you're so familiar with his work.
He wrote many songs about Paris. Very beautiful.
Yes. He was in love with your hometown. You're Parisian?
Oui, monsieur.
How much?
De 8 euros.
He pays, takes the album. Cut to exterior book market day. Gil at a place that he has a bin of various old books more prettier than great. The kind people buy for the Berlins or plates. He picks up a pretty bowed but totally wrecked book in the inside. It is slim leather torn up. He reads the title page in handwriting. It reads, "This diary belongs to Adriana Dupree."
Can you translate this? Speak English?
Customer shrugs, moves off. Cut to exterior Notre Dame garden day. Gil with museum guide. She translating the diary into English.
That Paris exists and anyone could choose to live anywhere else in the world will always be a mystery to me.
Turns pages.
Dinner with Pablo and Henri Matisse. Pablo is greater artist, but Matisse is greater painter. Paris in the summer. What it must have been like to sit opposite one's lover at Maxim's in its heyday.
Pages are torn and text cuts off.
I'm in love with an American writer I just met named Gil Pender.
His eyes widen.
That immediate magic one hears about happened to me. I know that both Picasso and Hemingway are in love with me, but for whatever inexplicable reasons the heart has, I am drawn to Gil, perhaps because he seems naive and unassuming. As always in this sad life, he's about to marry a woman named Inez. I had a dream where he came to me and brought me a little gift, earrings they were, and we made love. Perhaps it is just as well I accept Hemingway's offer to go to Africa. Life with Pablo is too full of conflict and I'm suffocating under his genius. Why I need to go from one brilliant man to another is my weakness. Gil is different, perhaps not a genius, but not moody and selfish like Pablo or Amadeo was. I think a trip to Africa with Hemingway would help these feelings for Gil off my mind. I don't understand. What is this?
It's a little complicated to explain. Thanks for translating.
The writer clearly has feelings for this man Gil. That's her name, no?
She finds him no genius, naive, and unassuming. That's not exactly dazzling.
To some women, naivete is endearing. And she's a romantic. She dreams of Belle Apost Paris and a gift of earrings and making love with this man.
Gil stares, thinking. Cut to interior hotel suite night. Gil is sprucing up. He douses himself with aftershave. Checks clock. It's 11 p.m.
11. Let's see. Where the hell am I going to get earrings at this hour? I must improvise.
He goes to Inez's jewelry box and picks out Art Novin earrings he knows Adrena would like. He grabs a box and gift wraps it quickly. Maybe it comes in a blue velvet box and he finds some colored paper. Gil writes card. To Adriana with love. He crosses it out. To Adriana avec amour. He gives a final check to himself and opens the door to leave, running smack into Inez and both her parents, home from their trip prematurely.
Oh my God, what are you doing back?
Daddy got chest pains.
Really?
I'm sure it's indigestion.
Well, we can't take a chance.
Daddy had an angioplasty 3 years ago.
They put a balloon in me. Big deal.
Yes, I want the hotel doctor, suite 818.
Why are you so dressed up?
Me? No, I was just writing.
You dress and put on cologne to write?
I took a break and showered. I think better in the shower. All those positive ions.
We were halfway to Mont Saint Michel and Daddy started to look pale.
That's terrible.
We turned right around.
No, sure. Is there anything I can get you, John?
I'm fine. I'm sure it's the beef bourgogne.
What's this?
It's nothing. Nothing.
What is that? It's a present.
Yes, it is. Because it's gift wrap, but you're not supposed to see that. It's a surprise.
You got me something?
It's nothing great. From the flea market.
Let me open it.
No, not now. I got it for you. I mean to give it to you at a special dinner. So just leave it.
No, I'm dying of curiosity. If it's jewelry, I hope it's my taste. Not like that moonstone necklace.
You don't like the moonstones? They're understated yet elegant. Don't you always say that? Yeah.
Cheap is what I always say.
You never saw the necklace he got me? I've never actually worn it. You'll see why immediately.
Opens their jewelry box, holds up moonstones.
I thought you'd like their simplicity.
That's just it. They're too simple.
I agree.
Hey, where are my Art Nouveau earrings?
You probably didn't pack them.
I've worn them here.
I guess you lost them. They probably dropped off.
Both of them? My ears are pierced.
I told you to keep everything in the hotel safe.
Oh, you think it was the maid?
It's always the maid.
I remember seeing them this morning.
I would report the theft right away.
I'll bet it was that maid. She was so snotty yesterday about turning down the beds.
She goes to Fawn.
Gee, I wouldn't jump to any conclusions. I mean, an accusation of theft?
I want to report a theft. I'd like the house detective to please come to room 818.
Oh, God.
I didn't like that maid from the first day. Didn't I say that?
Door rings.
The maid was very sweet.
Ugh, right. Take the side of the help as usual. That's why Dad calls you communists.
I'm Dr. Gerard.
Come in. He's right there. And he's had an angioplasty.
Amidst the ad-lib moment, Gil has managed to secure a private spot and has swiped the box. He's torn it open and removing earrings runs into the room with them.
Look, are these what you're missing?
Where did you find them?
They were in the bathroom.
The bathroom?
Yeah, right on the sink.
I was in the bathroom. I didn't see them.
Well, you're under stress.
Why the hell would they be in the bathroom?
Maybe you thought you put them away and left them out, or dropped them, and the maid found them and left them out where you could see them easily.
I didn't drop them or leave them out.
The main thing is they're not stolen.
I'm going to send you for some tests, but I think that you are right, and this is only indigestion.
See? Incidentally, it was very nice of you to come over so late.
Yes. My God, is it midnight already?
Gil is disappointed. Cut to exterior flea market day. Gil is buying earrings. Cut to earrings. Cut to exterior detective trusted car / lovely spot night. He is behind the wheel of his car observing. Car stops, picks up Gil, pulls off. Resident pulls off to follow. Cut to interior Gertrude Stein's place night.
C'est l'un de vous, Mélie, j'ai compris. J'ai parlé Léo, j'ai parlé Kosu, de l'enquête.
Matez is delighted, goes about his business there as she turns to Gil.
I was just telling Matisse we want to buy one of the new pictures for his new personal collection. 500 francs seems fair.
500 francs for Matisse? Gee, why don't I pick up like half a dozen? I could clean up, but how's all this possible? I should have paid more attention in my physics class.
Well?
Oh, I brought a rewrite of the first few chapters of my book, and I was hoping you would tell me if you thought I was on the right track.
Leave it with me.
Have you heard from Hemingway?
Yes, they'll be back for a few they'll be back for a few days. The trip didn't work out. I knew they wouldn't hit it off. That's over. With Picasso too. She's at De Royale by herself.
By herself?
One of those surrealist painters is getting married, and they did it up there. She'll be glad to see you.
Cut to interior de role night. Wedding in progress. Informal, non-traditional wedding with artist-type guests. Gil finds Adriana.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I came to find you.
You did?
Let's just say, as a writer, I see into women's souls, and I sense that you have very complicated feelings towards me.
But you are going to be married.
I'm not so sure about anything anymore. Can we just go where it's quiet?
They're almost out the door when they run into Louis Buñuel.
Oh, Mr. Buñuel, I had a nice idea for a movie for you.
Yes?
A group of people are at a formal dinner party, and after dinner, when they try to leave the room, they can't.
Why not?
They just can't seem to exit the door.
But why?
And because they're all forced to stay together, the veneer of civilization quickly comes off them, and they behave as who they really are, animals.
But I don't get it. Why don't they just walk out of the room?
Just think about it. That's all I'm saying. Maybe one day you'll be shaving and it'll tickle your fancy.
They go off as Buñuel gets in last line.
I don't understand. What's holding them in the room?
I cut to exterior pretty location night. Gil and Adriana are at a romantic locale. He kisses her.
What are you doing?
I don't know, but I do know that for a brief moment when I was doing it, it felt immortal.
But you look so sad.
Because life is too mysterious for me.
It's the time we live in. Everything moves so fast. Life is noisy and complicated, not like the Belle Epoque. In those years, Paris lived only for beauty.
I've always been a logical person. I never took chances, did anything crazy, like move here when I first came, or take a shot at being a real writer. Not a Hollywood hired hand, but I feel like I'm letting everything go.
Gil gives her earrings.
Here.
How remarkable. They're beautiful.
A horse and carriage pulls up.
Monsieur, mademoiselle, on y va?
What? Who are you?
Montes, on y va? Nous allons entrer en retard?
What's going on?
They get in.
Where are we going?
To drink champagne.
Dissolve to exterior Maximus night. They pull up at Maximus. People from the Belle Equid enter and exit.
This is so beautiful. All the pictures I've seen of Belle Epoque Paris. Here we are.
I don't know what it is about this city, but I must write a thank you note to the Chamber of Commerce.
Interior Maximus night. Inside.
Welcome, and oh, what marvelous outfits. So avant-garde. Please, have some champagne.
I can't believe this is happening to me.
Dissolve to interior Maximus night. Gil and Adriana are dancing romantically.
I never want to go back to the present. Never.
The present, yes, the present always seems worse than the past, but it can't be. To always think this generation is stupider and coarser than the last, and yet here we are at Maxim's tonight, and yes, it's fabulous.
And I don't know just where I want to go after.
Cut to interior Moulin Rouge / stage night. The girls dance. Cut to interior Moulin Rouge audience night. Gil and Adriana sit and hold hands. Dance ends and girls run off.
Encore devant les mêmes causes. Isn't this something? Look.
She points at Leclerc stretching.
Pablo worships him. I have to say hello. Come with me, I'm nervous.
We shouldn't bother him.
But we know he's a lonely man. He longs for company.
They go over. She speaks to Electra.
We're both great admirers of your work. Nous sommes tous deux les grands amoureux. Yeah.
Merci, madame.
Pouvons-nous offrir un verre?
Je serai enchantée, mademoiselle. Prenez un siège. Je vous en prie.
He's asking us to sit down with him.
This much French I know.
Êtes-vous américain?
I'm American, oui.
Je
Oh, sorry.
je l'entends votre accent.
Oh, I love your pictures too.
No one Duenas van Denis un relato voy veces.
Yes, I love your pictures too.
Ah, pouvez-vous présenter mes amis? Monsieur Degas, Monsieur Gonquin.
Oh my goodness, hello, enchanté. Isn't this thrilling? You can see the sketch he's made. Nobody can draw like this today. Not Pablo, not Matisse.
We see fine drawing, Leclerc style.
Parlez anglais?
No, monsieur.
Il parlait un petit peu.
I speak well. Je parle très bien.
Ah.
Degas and I were just talking about how cette génération du Barview, du Saint-Simon, de Magination.
He says they find this generation sterile and empty.
La Renaissance est beaucoup where'd I go? Beaucoup mieux. Better have to live during the Renaissance.
No, this is the golden age. L'âge d'or.
Pas du tout. La Renaissance, c'est mieux, vers mieux, c'est très, très moderne, très original.
He says your clothes are very modern and original.
Yes, Monsieur Lauren, Ralph. Shouldn't you be in Tahiti?
What? Yes, I believe on the island. I live on the island. I have a much better life than here, better there, but then I miss Paris. Up and back.
What do I do? Je suis estudiante en haute couture, fashion designer, but studying.
Ah, c'est compétent pour être à Royan.
Vous devez la présenter à Richard.
He wants Degas to have you meet his friend Richard. He's looking for someone to do costumes for the ballet.
Ballet costumes? My God, I don't live here. I mean, I do, but I don't. J'habite pas ici.
I wouldn't get into too many details with him. Let's just leave it at we're temporarily passing through.
Can I speak to you for a minute? Permets-moi de absentar un instant. Let's never go back to the 20s.
What are you talking about?
I think we should stay here. It's the start of La Belle Époque. This is the greatest, most beautiful era Paris has ever seen.
But I love the Jazz Age.
The 20s are full of strife and uncertainty. But think of it, Gil, the two of us in a lovely Art Nouveau home. I'll work in the fashion world. I love the styles you can write. It's the age of Debussy and Guermod. Maybe you can meet Balzac.
But what happened to the 20s and the Charleston, Cole Porter?
That's the present it stole.
It's not the present for me. I'm from 2010.
What do you mean?
I dropped in on you just the way we dropped in on the 1890s.
You did?
I wanted to escape my present just like you wanted to escape yours to a golden age.
Surely you don't think the 20s are a golden age.
Well, to me they are.
But I'm from the 20s and I'm telling you the golden age is Belle Époque.
Yes, but don't you see, to these guys, the Golden Age was the Renaissance. They'd all trade the Belle Epoque to paint alongside Michelangelo or Titian. And those guys probably imagined life was better than when Kubla Khan was around. I'm having an insight, a minor one, but that accounts for the anxiety of my dream.
What dream?
Last night I dreamed I ran out of Zithromax, and then I went to the dentist and there was no Novocaine. These people have no antibiotics.
What are you talking about?
And even in the 20s, no dishwashers, no 911, or if your appendix bursts, no movies on demand.
But if we love each other, what does it matter when we live?
Because if you stay here and this becomes your present, sooner or later you'll imagine another time was really the golden time. And so will I. I'm beginning to see why it can't work, Adriana. The present has a hold on you because it's your present. And while there's never any progress in the most important things, you get to appreciate. What little progress is made, the internet, Pepto-Bismol, the present is always going to seem unsatisfying because life itself is unsatisfying. That's why Gagin goes back and forth between Paris and Tahiti searching. It's my job as a writer to try and come up with reasons why, despite life being tragic and unsatisfying, it's still worth it.
That's the problem with writers. You're also full of words, but I'm more emotional. I'm going to stay and live in Paris's most glorious time. You made a choice to leave Paris once and you regretted it.
Yes, that one I regretted, but it was a real choice, and I made the wrong one. This is a choice between accepting reality or surreal insanity.
So finally, you do love Inez more than me?
No, I love you, but this way lies madness, and if I'm ever going to write anything worthwhile, I've got to get rid of my illusions, and that I'd be happier in the past is one of them.
Goodbye, Gil.
Goodbye, Adriana, and good luck.
A kiss, she turns and goes to the table of artists. Cut to interior Gertrude Stein's place night. Gil being admitted to the Stein home, he is full of energy.
Ah, Pender, I read your rewrite. Yeah, you're nicely on the right track. You understood me clearly, but if the rest of the book reads as well as you've done, well, you're gonna have something of value.
Thank you. I can't tell you how much this means to me.
Hemingway, who read your chapter, Hemingway read your chapters and agrees it's gonna be a fine book. He did have one plot suggestion.
Hemingway read it? What was his suggestion?
He finds it hard to believe the protagonist doesn't see his fiancée as having an affair that's going on right before his eyes.
With?
The other character, the pedantic one.
It's called denial. Thanks again. You're Ezra Pound, by the way. T.S. Eliot says you owe him 40 francs.
I cut to interior hotel suite day. Gil back in present in mid-argument with Inez.
You're crazy. Paul and me, where did you get such an insane notion?
From Ernest Hemingway. He thought it out and it makes perfect sense.
Gil, your brain tumor's acting up again.
There's nothing crazy about Ernest Hemingway or Gertrude Stein or Fitzgerald or Salvador Dali.
Nothing except for they've all been dead for years.
It was William Faulkner who said the past is not dead. In fact, it's not even past. Actually, I ran into Bill Faulkner at a party.
You're a raving lunatic.
I guess I'm too trusting. I'm jealous and also trusting. Cognitive dissonance. Scott Fitzgerald speaks of it.
Gil.
I know it, Inez. You can fool me, but not Hemingway.
Jesus Christ. I'm dealing with a madman. Okay, Paul and I had a few nights alone. We danced, we drank. You were always working. He's very attractive. He spoke to me in French. The whole mystique over the Courtney City got to me, and it's over. We can put this all in perspective at home.
I'm not going back.
What?
I'm staying here. It's not the romantic fling. Paris is Paris. It's that I'm not in love with you.
What?
A lot has happened to me since we got here. I won't begin to bore you, but I know that feeling of love is, and it's not us.
Have you met somebody else? All those late night walks?
I was attracted to another woman, but it was the whole deal. Meeting Gertrude Stein and Hemingway and Dali and Scott and Zelda.
Honey, you better listen to yourself. You are psycho. You don't know what you're doing. You see, everything here is through a magical colored glasses. You're a California film writer with a house in Beverly Hills with 2 Mercedes. You're not some kind of 20s expatriate novelist.
Her parents enter from adjoining suite.
What's going on? We can hear every word.
If I'm not happy, I'll move back, but right now I'm going to stay.
With who? All your crazy hallucinatory friends? Mother was right about you. There's a part missing.
Say that first.
Anyone who's a protagonist makes a living selling old crap pistols and Joan Crawford cutout books.
You're better off without me.
Go ahead, walk the streets, gush over the Parisian light and the rooftops.
Goodbye, Inez.
He goes.
I had a private detective follow on. I knew he was up to no good.
Daddy, you didn't.
I did. We saw him get into a car at midnight each night and he followed close behind.
What happened?
I don't know. The detective agency says the detective is missing.
Cut to interior Versailles Day. Detective Treston is in the period room with two stunned period occupants. They all speak French. À quoi j'ai horreur?
Aimez soupedou, j'ai pas du tourner avant Detroit.
God, God.
Kudu li quability. Oh yeah, exterior point, Alexandria third night. Jill walking at night. He sees someone approaching and realizes it is the girl from the flea market, Gabrielle.
Hey, I know you, the girl at the flea market.
Oh, yes, the Cole Porter one.
What are you doing here?
I'm returning from dinner with my girlfriends. I live near her.
Oh, what's your name?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, I'm Gil. I just moved to Paris this week.
Oh, I'm sure you'll love it.
Can I walk along with you, or can I buy you a coffee? Oh God, it's starting to rain.
That's okay. I don't mind getting wet. Paris is the most beautiful in the lane.
Oh, what a thing to say. I couldn't agree more.
I just thought about you the other day, because my boss got in a whole album of Cole Porter songs.
Hey, what are those bells?
It's midnight.
Midnight. Red. Pretty name.
Fade out as they walk off together in the rain. The end.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so good.
God, you're all so beautiful to listen to and to look at. It's beautiful faces. Thank you for watching. And YouTube. YouTube's over. This was the last YouTube video ever made.